Hello, and welcome to My Point of View Movie Reviews. Today's review is the Netflix original comedy/horror flick for Halloween, Vampires versus the Bronx. Now, this movie is charming, very low budget. It's like the Goonies in the ghetto. You have a neighborhood of blacks, Puerto Ricans, and Haitians. And this is kind of like a take on gentrification. That's when rich white folks move into black neighborhoods, buy up all the property, kick the Negroes, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans out, and call it home. And then their kids can go to these fancy white schools and have a great time, and there's no culture, there's no development of Afrocentric activities at all. But the key to this movie, it's kind of cool, man. The gentrificators, the white folks, are vampires. And what they want to do, they want to move into the Bronx, buy up all the luxurious buildings, apartments, businesses, and then have a place to put their coffins to raise their own kind. And they feel, who gives a damn who goes missing in the Bronx? Nobody cares about blacks, Haitians, and Puerto Ricans. We can chop on these fools' necks, suck all the blood we want. Ain't nobody gonna give a good goddamn to what happened to these people. And that's the premise. And you have where these young teens, they're probably 12 or 13, these three young men are trying their best to raise money to save their neighborhood. Very cute. Any kind of movie that have kids riding bikes and skateboards, going on adventures against the supernatural or monsters. I love stuff like that. This movie by no means is a masterpiece, but it is enjoyable from beginning to end. Great music. The comedy, I really didn't laugh. The comedy didn't work for me, but I love the mothers. This movie tackles the complications of gangbangers in the neighborhood trying to recruit young men. Lots of single, beautiful mothers that have no father. They're trying to raise these boys. You have young love. You have 13-year-old boys falling in love with 16-year-old teenagers. They're doing their best to impress them. But in the end, this is like a fun ride through the ghetto fighting vampires. And these special effects are absolutely hilarious, which makes it charming in my honest opinion, man. I had a blast watching this movie. You know, I can picture myself being a kid doing the same things these kids did, going on a young adventure, going around getting bats and pieces of wood from broken chairs and making wooden stakes, getting garlic, putting it around your neck, going to the church and stealing some holy water. Because when you get close to a vampire, that holy water starts to boil. This movie has all the cliches of a classic, fun, young comedy dealing with Halloween atmosphere. These young boys go to their favorite store up the block. And what they do, they're not allowed to watch rated R movies, but the owner of the store says, if you buy this DVD, I'll let you watch it in the back room along with playing video games. Well, it's the movie Blade. They find a way to watch this movie, knowing they get in trouble by their parents, to learn how to fight and kill vampires. And now one of the young ladies who's Haitian in this movie, she befriends them. She's 16, she's a little older, but Haitian background, they know a lot about the supernatural and monsters. So she's giving them, look, vampires don't have a reflection. Vampires, you can't see them in mirrors. Oh, by the way, with your little cell phone, you thought you took a video of these vampires? Ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna show up in the video. So this movie is just fun, man. I had a great time. There's so many characters throughout the neighborhood, up and down the block, that you just absolutely fall in love with, man. And man, I had a great time. This is a great film for the whole family. It's have a few appearances by famous people, rappers and other actresses. And the priest of this movie is one of my favorite rappers, Method Man. And the very beginning of the movie, Zoe, the beautiful lady that plays Lieutenant Uhura in those current Star Trek movies, she's in here. Now, don't get used to her character. She has a brief, and I mean brief cameo in this movie, but it's delightful. Great cast. The vampires look amazing. I love the vampires in this movie. And you know, the vampire always has a helper, a day guy that walks around, conducts all their businesses through real estate, while the vampires are in their coffin sleeping during the day. But at night, all the vampires come alive. They roam the Bronx, taking out gangbangers and blacks and Puerto Ricans and Haitians. It's absolutely a great time in the home cinema in your living room, sitting on the couch, eating popcorn, watching Netflix. Netflix, damn it, you did it again. I had a great time with this movie. Yes, I recommend it. It is low budget. Don't think it's the next best vampire movie in the world, because it is not. But what it is absolutely entertaining, fun for everybody during the Halloween season. Vampires versus the Bronx. Live now, streaming on Netflix. Give it a watch. I guarantee you will find some enjoyment in this movie. Until then, next time, be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down below. And I'm out. Yo, if I offend you, then you don't understand me. But if I inspire you, then you will learn to love me. Peace, and I'm out. And just remember, y'all, it's just my point of view.